Mm-hmm. One of those days. What I like to call a Monday. Hello. Yo. What's up? How's it going, everybody? Good to see ya. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome into the good old day. It's freaking, come on. You know when like technology doesn't work? That old thing? Ay, annoying. How's everybody doing? How was your weekend? How have you been? It's been a good few days, a good couple weeks. Tell you what, I personally have a ridiculous week ahead of me. We're flying back to the States this weekend, and it's not a simple trip back. We're doing a trip from here to Georgia, see some family, hang out for Thanksgiving, meet up with my parents, and then make the rest of the flight a week after that back to California. So I'm gonna be completely away from all streaming stuff for a week, and I'm gonna hope that this laptop works for me and I can do video production, but I don't know. I'm trying to get ahead this week and get some stuff out for you guys. Got podcast recordings coming up and all that jazz, but it's gonna be a crazy week for me, so can't make any promises. But today we are trying out something new, introducing a little something. Hold on, my people need something. Just wire this over. Yeah, there we go. Good. And you tell him that the first 2 million was on us. All right? This is our investment.
I'm not
Business stuff. Yeah, so we're doing something new today. I've talked a little bit about how we've had Citizen Central, which brings together content creators. Grumpy Eye, I see you in there. Grumpy Eye's been on one of those episodes. We've also done Launch Sequence Podcast, which is like one-on-one, one-on-two, sort of like smaller form kind of stuff every week. But I've had trouble trying to figure out how to do something where we could get the overall community's engagement, the community's opinions in here. So we're looking to start something with the Twitch guest star feature. And this week we're not going to use guest star. I'm just using a stage room on my Discord, but this is going to be the first time where we kind of have people from the community, all y'all, specifically people who are active in my Discord community, who can come in, share their opinions on whatever the weekly topic is, kind of just let out what they have to say on a topic, because obviously there's a lot of different opinions out there, and I pull from a very select pool, and I want to try and expand on that. So like I said, today is going to be a first trial at that, something very casual, laid back test, and we'll probably start to refine it as we go back to California in the next couple of weeks. Again, this is for our regular Discord members, so people who have received the role of a garden regular. You've done a certain amount of chatting on our Discord. You will have access to the stage room. You'll be able to chill in there, raise a hand, they call it on Discord, and I will invite you in and we'll just chat one-on-one with voices only for now, and then in the future we'll use cameras. But before that, I want to go over the stuff that happened last week. Hope y'all don't mind. I know we're gonna talk about leaks, and if you are watching this after the fact and you want to skip ahead to that, go ahead and probably skip like 20-25 minutes into the video, and that's probably where we'll start to talk to people. But I want to talk about stuff first, because a lot of news and things went down last week that I didn't really get to look at in general. We went over like the monthly report and the cargo refactor AMA, but there's more. But hi everybody, welcome in. Thank you all for coming. Cat Mom, C McD, Frenchie, the Papa, Scape, and Washoe. Welcome folks. Yannick Vape, good to see you. Not entirely sure what this means, if we can sit in on the Discord or not. If you are a regular, you will have access to the room on the Discord. It all depends on how active you've been on there. Pungy with the toes. Hello. Hello, TC. Good to see you. Other channels announce on their respective Discord that a stream is live on Twitch or YouTube. I'm unfamiliar with Discord being able to stream from. Yeah, this will be specifically in a stage room, so nobody can talk until we specifically give them access. Airsoft Eagle 6, I read your name completely out of order, but hi. Back to work trying to remember how to be a nurse. Ooh, that'd be good to remember. I'm sure plenty of people would be very happy if you remembered that right on time. Scato and P-Bond 07s, my friends, welcome. Asking the tough questions today. Well, I'm asking the question. We'll see what people have to say. I'm gonna do my best to not cut people off. I struggle with my own opinion sometimes. Ken, your org is responsible for 2 million supported Star Citizen. No, this is all about our spaceship headed out to space. You know, all that stuff. Zoff, what leaks? We're talking not specifically about leaks themselves, but more about this post and CIG's acknowledgement of leaks and how we, you know, treat them, think about them, act about them. And on top of that, anybody who does come on live today to talk with me, you don't have to just talk about leaks. That's just the topic of the week, but there's plenty of other things we could talk about. Betting Galaxy is what CIG was talking about being bad. The pics were clearly cell phone snaps. Cha-ching, cell phone. Hello, Ready Player One. How you doing? Is it leaking or considering promoting future or repeated watching? All right, folks. So, I've caught up with what does that say? High change stream title. Okay, bye. Didn't I? Isn't the stream title? You change it then, Mrs. Tomato, if you know what it should be called. I named it best I can. Not seen the leaks, but I saw the reply. I have not really looked at the leaks too much, to be honest. I've been trying to avoid them mostly myself, and that's why today we're not going to talk specifically about the leaks, more about how we interact with them, kind of thing. White, hello. Hello, friend. Okay, so first, I want to look at the roadmap roundup before we get really into it. It was an update to 3.18 features. 3.18 features that are coming because the patch has taken a little bit longer. a little lot longer than they expected. I think Gen 12 was always kind of expected to be in some form, having another update to Gen 12 at least, but I'm glad that they were able to get the scene renderer in. So let's go through these 3 things that they've added to 3.18. First, the time trial race missions are what we saw in ISC last week. They're being added to the Stanton system, basically using a couple existing locations, throwing a few things in there to pretty up the area, and then actually adding their own gates to the their own like little race gates that you can fly through. Have you guys, do you all remember scramble races? Hold on a second. Let's do a little jump back in time here. Star Citizen around the verse race. I think yeah. Happy race, you filthy rover. So this was, I believe, where they showed us. No, was this not? They showed us scramble races way back. I think it was this one, Party of 50. ODST drop pods? I mean, that would be quite cool. Did I just see them? No, this isn't it either. Should have had this up beforehand. But we used to have these things that they wanted in the verse called scramble races. And they were basically a race that would start kind of out of nowhere. Like, it would just start because a certain amount of people came to an area and said they wanted to do a scramble race. And since Star Citizen is the way it is, you can imagine that wouldn't really happen too much. Like, I don't know if anybody else tried these back when they were in the game, but I tried to do one, and I was sitting there at the start line for a good 5 minutes, and nobody ever showed up. No, the game didn't ever tell me anything. The race just didn't start. They were kind of a failure, and this was their first attempt at racing. And I think when people are like, why are they putting time into racing? Why did they add a racetracks? They don't realize that racing's been a big part of the game for a long time. And the fact that they kind of dropped the ball the first time they really tried to expand it into the game, I think they kind of owed people another attempt at some point. Kind of a bummer that they're not doing the ground vehicle stuff, but it doesn't surprise me that they want to have some form of competitive racing into the game. I think that it can help to highlight some problems with the flight model if they are trying to get the control surfaces working soon. B, it gives every single person in the game something that they can all do that's a little bit different from other content that we have. And C, it's a profession. There are racing ships in the game. There's a racing segment of Arena Commander. There's a star system that thrives off of racing. Like it's not like it's an extra in this game. So I won't say whether or not they should be doing it. I will say that I understand why they're doing it, and I like that we're getting some additional variety to the gameplay. Stuff that people can look to and be like, okay, there's something else I can do besides shooting people. And hopefully this actually does start to raise that competition level of racing, and we can see some leaderboards constantly fought over. I know the people over at XGR are going to be going wild with it. How old is that video? It's 5 years old? 4 years old. August 16th, 2018. So it's over 4 years old. Are servers generally buggy after a major update? Just started playing a week ago. Servers are generally buggy all the time. They are definitely worse during a free fly event and right after a large update, but we haven't had a large update in a while. The game is just buggy. The stability of like FPS and stuff is looking to get better soon with actually the next thing we're about to talk about here. But overall, yeah, it's gonna be a kind of a buggy mess for a while. Things get eliminated every once in a while. Sometimes glitches come back. They're just constantly messing with that underlying base level code a lot of the time in this game. So sometimes bugs are just weird. They need to start inserting variety to the gameplay. Yeah. Just in time to play catch up with Tomato. Hey, Andrew, I see you. You think racing will be big social help? Yeah, racing communities are always good fun and a little bit crazy competitive. Yeah, they did not work well. So scramble races, not a good attempt at this whole thing. This looks like it's a little bit more promising. I'm excited to see how it turns out and how they improve it over time, and how deep they'll get into it. Because at some point, they're going to be televising these races in the game. This will be one of those things that, well, at least okay. Again, this is probably where some of that sort of 10 for the chairman, feature creep kind of stuff comes in. I'm gonna give you a big grain of salt. We have talked about the possibilities of these races being televised in game. We also have ships that are specifically made to film things in the game. So the thought is that eventually NPCs and players alike can film things, and you can see these races somewhere else in the game, on a TV in a bar, or on a display screen inside of a spaceport. Like, racing is supposed to be a pretty major part of the verse, so I'm wondering how much they'll ramp this up. But that reminds me, there was some stuff that I saw about going up on Spectrum talking about professions and mining and how much they wanted to do one profession over another. Tinfoil hat movement. You know, I need to have one. Like, this could be my tinfoil hat. I could just wear this as my tinfoil hat and be like, whenever I'm speculating, the fez comes on. But I do need a tinfoil hat, don't I? You heard that the game could be done in 18 months if they wanted to. Many ships are already flight ready. The fact that it's still in crowdfunding speaks to the probability of them never going into beta. You heard that they could finish the game in 18 months if they wanted to. Oh God, I wish that was true. Like, even knowing they had the capability of finishing the game in 18 months would be really nice. But I don't think that they, in their wildest dreams, could imagine finishing this in 18 months. That would be cool, though. It's a fun thought. Siren, Tau was abandoned by the outsourced studio, was it not? Tau was being worked on by Firesprite, and then CIG basically just hired a couple of the people from Firesprite into the Arena Commander team, and they are supposedly still working on Theaters of War. There are a couple people who used to work at Firesprite until Sony bought it, and then they kind of started to shift them over into CIG, as far as I'm aware. The Mako can't even keep up with the racing ships. Oh, well, I mean, yeah. You know how we do it with racing. We have like cameras on the corners, right? We kind of watch from a distance or something, that kind of thing. Players filming I can get, but NPC film crews really sound like feature creep. Well, I mean, it's not feature creep if they already said it. Where on earth did you hear that? Oh yeah, that would be interesting. It will give refueling ships something major to do right now. The racing? Yeah, that too, that'd be cool. Misunderstood it then. That said, dynamic events seem to move closer and closer into what Tau is actually supposed to be. I think, no, Theaters of War was supposed to be like Arena Commander, completely separated so that you weren't risking your life playing it, you weren't risking your funding or your ship or your insurance or anything like that. Was that before or after the redo of the engine? What is that, Vape? Were you talking about scramble races or something else? You missed Xenothreat? Yeah, Xenothreat was fun. Should be even more fun now that we have Soft Death. Prayer coming in 55 minutes. Thanks for the reminder. All right. For racing. Gotcha. So the next thing that they talked about on the update to the roadmap was the Gen 12 scene renderer. And this is a big deal. This is like one of those things that they've been talking about for years. This was like one of those pie in the sky tech kind of things that obviously nobody ever wants to say Jesus tech. Don't do it. But it's definitely one of those things that sits in that category with like server meshing and persistent entity streaming and the quantum economy, like big ticket items that they've been working on for a while. It's not the savior to all of our problems, but like if you look back at how long they've been working on it, this goes back. Like they were probably doing stuff with it before January of 2021, but it definitely has been in the works for 2 years straight with a lot of devs working on it. And we're now starting to hear about some of the improvements it's going to bring to the game. In terms of FPS, likely for people who are running on older CPUs. But overall, the main purpose of it is to prepare us for the ability to run on the Vulkan API, which includes things like optimizations, global illumination, FSR, DLSS, all these kinds of new rendering and effects technologies that people like in new games will start to become easier for them to develop in this game when they're on the Vulkan API. So Gen 12 is a big deal. It's good that we're seeing a major advancement in that in 3.18, and it's been added to the release view, which is always a good sign. Still not committed, but as we saw in ISC the other day, it's pretty far along. Let's see if that's probably in core tech. Yep, Gen 12 scene renderer. Good stuff. It's good to see. SC got too much feature creep since the Kickstarter to be released in 18 months. SC would literally outrun 18 months by feature creep. We will hear about something else in the next 18 months that would take more than 18 months to make. How many years would you say it will take them to go to beta? I mean, I don't like that question because that means you have to say a date, and the universal rule is any date that you give is wrong. I think with Star Citizen, I would say no sooner than 4 years from now. I hope I'm wrong, and I put that out there also thinking in my mind, like, you know how you put a number out and you expect to undershoot it or overshoot it? That's kind of how it is. Like, I put 4 years out there because I would really love to be in beta in like 3 years. I see nothing less than 4 years really, though. There are so many like systems that just don't work. I mean, even just the room system, like resource management is only just now coming online. Yeah. What have we covered? We've covered the time trial missions and the Gen 12 renderer so far. Another couple of minutes here, and we're going to get into talking to the community about leaks. The last thing was the sandbox prison activities, which is just adding more stuff into the prison gameplay. Basically, for people who break the law, still separating them from the rest of community, but also giving them some gameplay that they can take part in. Do I think Jax is dead? Nah, definitely not. You hope it never gets finished. Finished games treat players like crap. I mean, MMOs aren't really finished, right? As far as I've been told. Taryn, thanks for the 100 bits. Love you, baby. Bare minimum 5 years to beta, 10 years to launch. Ooh, 10 years to launch is a lot. They'll go to beta once they have all the big ticket game loops in and the core tech demo done. Core tech done. It's been in development since before 2014. Yes. Around 2012, if I remember correctly. Just don't mind the leaks, but content creators should be better about spoiler alerts. Yeah, that's why like I don't put them on thumbnails anymore. I did once a while ago, but I don't really cover the leaks anymore. If it's in a video, I try to blur it out. Unless it's something that CIG themselves have shared. They had the excuse that they had to redo all of the engine. Now I think that they will have to come up with pre-beta or something like that in 2 years or lose a great number of players. I think the engine development is clearly starting to come to a head with things like Gen 12, persistence, planetary navigation tech, Rastar V1. A lot of these tools, the big tools that were supporting the engine that they've been building over the years, are starting to produce results. I think it's kind of showing some progress. I'm not young, so if it's 10 years, won't be playing many games. Won't be playing many games. What do you mean by that? Minimum viable product would likely include access to major races. Oh boy, that's a lot. I think people are in denial. This is an early access game nowadays. 4.0 is the beta target. Anything else risk the death of the project? I don't think they're too worried. I think they've got a lot of confidence in Squadron 42 carrying this development for a couple more years. But that's just my opinion. All right, let's start this chat in the Discord. Again, anybody who is a regular user of the Discord server, in my Discord, in the garden, you have probably had, if you've talked there enough, check your roles, see if you are a garden regular. If you are, you can join me in this room and I will be able to pull you in to chat with me on the stream here, and we can talk about Star Citizen leaks and what goes on with them. Again, check your roles, because a lot of people talk and don't realize that they're getting leveled up in the server, but this is specifically for people who are a little more active there. Now I'll get us started off with what kind of spurred on this conversation, because I think, I mean, most of the people who are here have already seen the leaks and stuff going on about them, but maybe didn't see that CIG has, for the first time that I can remember, responded officially to the leaks. So that's what we'll go over here in a minute. You are new, going to buy SC today. Any recommended package for a solo player? Always get the cheapest one. $45 game package will give you all the experience that you need. We can absolutely show you some of the other bigger spaceships if you'd like to see what this game can offer at the moment. But you don't need to buy anything more than that $45 Aurora game package. And in fact, you don't even need to do that. If you'd like, you can wait 5 days from now and play the game for free. The game will be for free for almost 2 weeks, starting this Friday. So I would definitely suggest trying that out if you are hesitant to throw money in. Not a regular, but if you run out of people, I can maybe hop on in the Discord. Cool. I'm going to open it up to Garden newbies as well, which is a much larger group of people. You're usually against spoilers, but you're glad this is apparently getting CIG out of their comfort zone. Oh, they've always had something to say about them, just not officially. Free fly for 2 weeks and you can try like 90% of the ships. Exactly. It's a good time. It's a good thing to just do that instead. Cool video you uploaded today. Thank you, Amira. I haven't been able to look at it because YouTube has just pooped out. The game is tedious despite my boundless love. You have to be patient. You do. Do we know if these are official leaks? Official, like released by the company itself? Do you have the dashing Miss Tomato checking people's audios first? That is the plan going forward. We don't have that kind of a, we didn't have that luxury of setup today. Mainly because it's going to be, we have to set up like a flow, a process of them to get in here, check with their audio with her, and then get into the room. And since nobody really knew about this going forward, I don't know if anybody's going to be here anyways. Think being able to pull a ship with a vehicle in it would be a big help? That would be cool. So let's look at this leak about leaks surrounding one of the new Perspective Drake ships. This is the one that we actually saw in the teaser. So let me pull up a shot of that real quick so everybody kind of has that in their head. I'm not going to pull up any of the actual pictures because I'm not going to be that, I'm not that person. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But the ship in question here is this one. Oh God, that is such a fast shot. They really put that in there for like 0.1 seconds. That ship. So this is what all the speculation and discussion is about. Not all of it. There are 2 leaked ships that have been going around. But this is what this post that we are about to read was about. What just happened to my music? What happened to my music? Song just ended. So going back to the post. As most of you have seen, there was a leak on Reddit with a low-res brochure image of the cutter. Things that stood out to me were that the top image, and this comes from Captain Hooked on Spectrum. The top image appears to be the Expedition variant. The Expedition variant appears quite undergunned for a Drake ship with just 2 hardpoints. The bottom image appears to be a different variant and has 2 top turret and some other device attached to the roof rack of the ship. The text says other variants, which indicates there will be more than 2 versions. Even though the Expedition variant only has 2 SCU, other variants may have internal space as they will not have a suit locker or food machine. So obviously the speculation surrounding this leaked ship has been getting quite hefty, real hefty. And it's not like we couldn't speculate about it from this, but the leaks shared a lot more information. When people are talking about spoilers, generally it's things that aren't officially released. That's usually how I go about it. Now, everybody has a different value on leaks and spoilers. That's kind of why I wanted to have this discussion. Some things are okay to hear. Like if your new favorite TV show comes out and somebody is, I don't know, somebody got into a relationship with somebody else in the past season, some people would freak out if you spoiled that for them. Some people wouldn't care. It kind of depends on the person, but I think in general, there is a sort of understood level of discrepancy when talking about like media that people follow. Like I'm not going to go and start talking about the new episode of Andor in terms of specifics as soon as I see it, because I know that no matter what it is, people probably don't want to hear it from me, at least when it comes to some of those topics I mentioned. Things like specific characters or specific events, in this case, specific ships. The rear wings look undersized. Think it looks funny. Oh, it's cute. Leaks get people talking. They do. They do get some people talking, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's worth it from a marketing standpoint. But from a production standpoint, I can understand why you just don't want that. That being said, Star Citizen is very much a marketing project. All right. So the response to this was not necessarily specifically a response to this, but more to how much the speculation has been going around after this. So Xylo came on and said, leaving this thread open so I can comment on the recent leaks. We know that with each patch, there will be leaks, and most of the time, we're fully aware of exactly what content will be data mined and when. Speculation based on data mining is rarely ever an issue, and we like seeing people getting excited about what's coming. It's great to see the enthusiasm. So, like, makes sense. They put stuff in the code and they know people are going to find it eventually. This talks towards, like, I've always wondered, how could they ever sneak in a new star system or something if it'll always be in the code and it'll always be leaked beforehand? And that might be something that they still have to deal with, but at least we can imagine that they've been thinking about the same thing for a while, and if they want to do it, there may be a way for them to do it and put enough thought towards it, and it might happen. You think, as a rule of a leak, if a leak comes from a current or former employee who is doing it just to be petty, then we should not respect or honor the leaker. But you always, you don't necessarily know their motivation. Think you are a great host. I'm here partly for SC, but also because you have a nice voice and very amenable attitude. Thank you. The amenable attitude is very dependent on a good breakfast every morning. We should never encourage pettiness in society. Hey, pettiness sucks. I've been petty, and then I look back on my petty ass and I'm like, you suck. but it's hard to know everybody's motivations at the time that something happens. A lot of times we just figure it out afterward. So, continuing on, Xylo said, the dark side of the leaks is sometimes things get out that were never meant to see the light of day. Sure, if a gray box image or a near final ship leaks and that ship is about to just release, we turn the other cheek. But leaking outdated proprietary work info that will never happen, that ain't cool, bruh. Basically, he goes on to say that what was leaked is something that was internal to the company. It was outdated information and probably shouldn't have been leaked, whether it was outdated on the person who received it or the person who sent it. Doesn't matter. They saw something get leaked that they've obviously changed direction from in the past, and now he's just explaining that they're kind of not looking forward to the disappointment that some people will have based on the leaks, as opposed to based on, get this, something they said. I find this funny because, like, we oftentimes set our expectations based on CIG's communication or lack thereof, but this time it's actually not their fault. The expectations have been taken out of their hands, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know, I don't think anybody knows exactly what it is that was outdated information. People have their own opinions and their own ideas of what it was, but something that came out was, and CIG can foresee the people who are not going to enjoy that. I also think this is just also a message to the devs themselves. Like, yeah, we're going to put this out as a message to our community, but we also want to let our employees know how serious this specific leak is. Don't do this. I don't know. I think this is a reasonable way to send that secondary message. Not that they don't have their own internal conversations going on about this stuff, but I think it's also a good thing to kind of get the community involved in putting the heat on things like this from their perspective, at least. They're kind of bringing together the reaction to the leak. It's both internal and external rather than just internal. Are you in? Are we live? We are live. And I'm waiting for anybody who wants to hop onto the, who is a regular member, of course, of our Discord community, who wants to hop on and come hang out a little bit. It is really good that Xylo got out in front of that instead of waiting for IAE. Well, I mean, for once they can get out in front of it and not feel bad about it, because it wasn't them. They didn't do it. When they set expectations and then need to get out in front of it, often sometimes they just don't. Oh, Depa. Hello, my friend. And thank you so much for the insane super chat. wild. It's a hippo turning into a robot. That's a nice message to send. Thank you, Depa. Seriously, you carry this stream sometimes. You are awesome. Always with the big bucks Lev plays. Put him on blast. That part sounds like he's talking about the large ship and not the cutter. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. It's on a post about the cutter, but again, like, people have pointed out things about the galaxy and why that might be what he's talking about. There's not really any knowing until we actually see the ships next week. Believe it or not, we appreciate that you guys love the project so much you are hungrily gobbling up leaks. While it's not ideal and we hate having surprises ruined, we know it's a fact of life for entertainment IPs that are passionately followed as Star Citizen. Little chest pump there. But just as common in the entertainment industry is for devs to talk about things that get delayed and sometimes never happen. And we're bummed that mixed amongst some of the cool, accurate leaks of this week were some... cool. He just called the leaks cool. Were some inaccurate ones based on obsolete PowerPoint decks. So the normal Spectrum comments, somebody laughing at him, of course, somebody else responding to them. In general, a lot of the conversation is... Well, actually, I don't know. I didn't really look at it. It wasn't my intention to promote leaked material. Yeah, see, I think that was... I was wondering if the person who posted felt like they were especially wrong in this instance because of that. So, I mean, everybody's trying to make sense of what this means since he didn't say specifically what they were talking about. But overall, I think it's just... They've finally officially acknowledged leaks. I don't think they've really done that in any major way. And it's interesting to see that they are acknowledging and very cool with some of the smaller leaks that come up. Seems like they get directed to the Greenhouse Relax chat and not the event channel. They should be able to click into the event channel. Anybody who is a regular or above, maybe I need to... Hold on. I know what I did. Wait for it. Wait. See, this is why we're trial running this, folks. Figuring things out. We're learning new things here. Good. Let's make sure that's visible. Make sure that's available. Grab that. Throw that on there. Grab that and throw that on there. Yeah. See, Discord permissions are sometimes a pain. There we go. Okay. Yep. Okay. So everybody should be able to join in here if they are heavily involved in the server. Let me just make sure. Cool. It won't let you in. Why? Maybe I need to do that. How about now? I figured that the there we go. Figuring things out. We're learning things here. There we go. All right. But now it allows everybody in. See, this is just... Request to speak. Stage channels. They're rough. If CIG shows they are super pissed about the leak, it never looks good. Yeah, I don't think they're angry, but it does seem like they wanted to make it aware that they're watching. You'll hop on later. Before that, you have to end a meeting. Sounds good. Xylo just gave far more attention to leaks than they had before. Wonder how many people learned about the Discord than before, simply due to Xylo's post. I don't think I think anybody who would have learned about the Discord would have already been hearing about it just because leaks are so persistent in the community. Since there's no actual link to the Discord in the post itself, I don't think it's really going to give it that much more exposure than it was already getting, considering how far and wide the leaks spread. I mean, across literally every single part of the community. Twitter, Reddit, Spectrum, Discord, YouTube, Twitch. You can't really get away from them. As a firm believer that green equals rabbit food, he refused to join a Discord named Garden. That's fair. Never gonna get to see a tomato in the flesh if you don't go into a garden. Man, but these stage channels are very annoying in that they don't give you the ability to say, they don't give you the ability to say only regulars and up can. Why is it like this? Why are you like this, Discord? All right, let me try one more thing here. If I throw that in, nope, that doesn't work either. So if I disable this, but allow for the view, maybe that works. Okay, so if you are a regular member again, you can request to speak. I guess if you're in here already, I'm gonna need to definitely work on this system over the next couple of weeks to make sure that we get this working much better than this, but that's why we trialed it. That's why I wanted to get live with you guys and just chat about this up front. Tomato in the flesh. Dude, can't get that tomato juice on you if you're not ready to get down in the dirt. Dig into the compost heap. Ew, don't dig in the compost heap. That's for the plants. Remember old ship commercials where we were given exclusive behind the scenes footage of a ship introduced by Jax? Seems the idea of getting sneak peeks of new ships is built into lore. You hope we see Jimmy draw another ship like we did last time on that last leak. Just saw your combat video with John and I learned a lot from it. Oh, the stream. Yeah, that went well. I've already started to try practicing that again. Our Discord has certain channels limited to a certain rank and above for similar reasons. Yeah, so like this stage channel is supposed to be limited to certain people, but then the people who it was limited to were saying that they couldn't get into it. So I just opened it up to everybody. That being said, y'all came here and nobody wants to talk? You can request to speak. It's on the right side of the screen, I believe. If that is why you're here. Some of you just bumming a ride in the stage chat. I see you. Just feels like the leaks were best left ignored if they have an issue with them. Commenting on them only brings attention to them and will not stop them at all. I don't think their goal is to stop them. I think their goal is to lay down the official line on what's okay and what's not. Because they're not speaking to the community here. They're speaking to their own company. This is a message to their devs. They're saying, hey, a developer leaked this and they shouldn't have, because like data mining is one thing, but you guys shouldn't be passing stuff off to other people. This is just making sure that the community is aware that they're leaving that message out there for their devs. This has nothing to do with us. I mean, yeah, we can look at it and talk about it and share it, but like, they're not gonna be like, don't share that amongst themselves. This is a message for their people. And I think more than anything, they just want to set the ground rules for things. It's also a message to change our expectations. Yeah, you're right, Lev. A bit disappointed that this rumored cutter isn't the manned cutter unit that's supposed to be docked somewhere on the Reclaimer, but you love Drake and you'll buy it anyway. Yeah, I don't think they would call it the cutter if it was meant for cutting. It's not really Drake's flow, right? Hey, Genos. it's outdated. The employee might not even work there anymore. Yeah, but you want to, if you're running a company with hundreds of employees, it's so much easier to jump on an example like this and make a lasting impression with your message than to just randomly say, hey, we don't want leaks to be out there, even if this person is gone. I don't want to say it gives them a boogeyman, but it gives you an example to make. Cutter be a sailboat. Tacking back and forth in the wind. All right. We've got our first guest, DJ Catmom. A regular here at the community and a big help of the org. Gonna hop on. Let's talk about some leaks, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. Can you hear me? Did I take away your ability to speak? Is that another permission that I have to change?
No. I was muted. I'm
there
sorry.
We go.
Hello, everybody.
How's it going?
Doing great. I'm hardly working right now, actually. So.
That's what I like to hear. So how do you feel about all this?
Well, yeah, there's a few things about, especially like the latest post that you just read from the devs, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I feel like CIG is a bit too hasty to jump on negative opinions that pop up here and there. Is the internet, so that's just how it is. And there are like some false expectations and stuff like that. And I mean, it's leaks. It's like the furthest from confirmed content that you can possibly get, apart from like pure speculation, right? So I think they're kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, because oftentimes they will see like a couple negative opinions and then just go, yeah, no, you know what, nobody gets nothing. So it feels kind of like part of that kind of reaction.
You think this was a reaction to opinions already forming?
I think so, but I'm not actually sure, because I don't read a lot of Spectrum, so I haven't seen the negative stuff that they mentioned, because the post kind of implies that they are angry about the leak being inaccurate, and it poses a risk to them because people have certain expectations because of this leak. And I don't think it's entirely true. Maybe some people do, but in my opinion, that's on them. Like, if it's a leak, it's completely subject to change, and everyone should understand that. And vast majority of people do. Like, if a ship from a leak doesn't make it into the game for whatever development reason, it's fine. Like, bummer if you got excited for the ship, like I just did, but hey, that's development, that's life. Maybe it didn't work out for them for some reason. Or not a ship, just any content, right? Mm-hmm. And then CIG goes, in this post, they imply that it really like hurts them in some way, which I don't think it's really true. So yeah, and this is the part of, you had like a previous stream where you talked about communication from CIG mm-hmm. with different content creators. And one of the things that was mentioned, I'm not sure by whom right now, but a lot of people agreed that CIG is quick to react to like negativity in the community and like hunker down because of this, and like break communications a bit because of this. And I think that's totally correct. And I personally think that they should go the other way, be more open about the development, because honestly, I want to see what doesn't work. Like, CIG loves to show stuff that works or starts working, but there's a lot of development that is just trial and error, and there's a lot of error in that. And that takes a lot of time, because sometimes it's just a blind alley, right? You'll just go there and we can't make it work. And we wasted time. That's bummer, but that's just life. And we don't know about that happening. So from our perspective, like an entire team might be working their ass off for a long time. And then something doesn't work. They eventually rework it completely and release it. But it took them, say, like half of the time, the total time they were working. So to us, it seems like they were slow, but they were really working hard. It's just some stuff just didn't make it. It didn't work. And I'd like to know, because we are all here just waiting for the info, and it's coming. It's gotten better over the last year especially, but it could be better.
But it does sound like they're not necessarily saying that they don't want to share the info, just that the info is shared in the wrong way. Because the data mine stuff they seem to be okay with.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously he mentioned that there were cool leaks, which is kind of cool to hear. And I do agree. When you have leaks, you have you lost some part of control over the content that is going out, which can be frustrating from their side. I can sympathize totally. And yeah, I guess part of it is on Leaker for sure, because that's just all the info. And I guess I don't want to promote leaking or anything, but like, if anybody is hearing this and they're leaking, like, make sure it kind of checks out. Just don't put it out here. Like whatever old stuff that might not be a thing anymore. But yeah, I think it might be a bit of overreaction, but I get why they react that way.
Yeah, I think some of the especially the part where they talked about it hurting, I think that was more on the personal level, to be honest, than like as the company as a whole. I think he's talking more about the people who actually worked on the ship.
Oh yeah. To some extent, it might feel to them like a bit of a betrayal, because like if you're a person that is working on this project and you are under NDA, and you uphold to it and keep hush hush, all the while you would love to go to like Discord and share like, guys, I'm working on this cool new ship, it's gonna be so awesome, and you can't for years maybe. And then somebody just goes and dumps it on the internet, especially if it's like not even like a person from your team, but somebody who just snapped a picture at like a team meeting, like a bigger one, like somebody who you don't even know. I can see how that can be quite frustrating and
if one of my videos went out early, I'd be pissed. That's nowhere near as much work.
Yeah. So I guess I get what is conveyed. I get that they are a bit lenient with a lot of stuff that got leaked. Like I didn't hear about like major drama. Maybe it's all hush hush. Maybe it's like very internal. But I haven't heard about like huge drama with leakers being booted and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of ways to take this post as like, some people will see it as a very big statement from CIG. I think the fact that this was just a comment reply on somebody else's post shows that they're not actually trying to make this too big of a deal. They just wanted to have an official statement out about it, and not even like a comlink statement, but just something in Spectrum. I think this would have been a really small thing if the community didn't share things like it does.
I think the post was perhaps less official and a bit more personal than we usually kind of expect from dev posts. And maybe a bit better. Maybe that person was actually involved in some way, not obviously not the leaker, but like somebody who was involved in that kind of content, and they felt personally betrayed as well, to some extent. Because they mentioned that something along the lines that I almost didn't post this, but
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but overall, leaks, cool. I would love for CIG to just communicate as much as possible, like everything, every little thing. I'll grab it. Absolutely, give it to me. But I do appreciate that they have limited time and they need to actually work on a game. But yeah, if it's true leaks, as long as they're semi-accurate, it's fine.
All right. Well, thank you for being the first guest on here, coming on and testing out the new format.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to mention, just love this new format. Absolutely love to see you giving voice to average members of community. So I hope you keep on doing it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go places. Definitely keep to it. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, yeah, when we were talking, I saw Croncy dropped in with a raid. I hope he didn't raid in, is there a word for that? Raid in relief? Raid raid in dash or something? Thank you so much for the raid, Croncy. I don't know if you got that shout out, but I'm gonna give you one. Cause I love you, mate. You and your glorious fire beard. Ah, he's here. He's still here. How you doing, dude? Raid and fade. That's fair. Raid and fade, it rhymes, it works. How's it going, man? Let's see. I'm gonna Ferrister, I see you in there trying to talk. How about I go ahead and let's see. Let's say Garden Newbies can go ahead and request to speak. I don't know if I have to actually turn that on. If you'd like to join in. Doing good? Croncy, you have any opinions on this? Yeah, Ferrister, if you wanna do it, throw your hand up in here and I'll drag you in. Was the dude who left the backstabber leaker? No. Paul Jones, I doubt it. Highly doubt it. People get disappeared for less in corporate America. Dark. You heard a good suggestion, which was for CIG to circumvent the leaks by leaking little sneak peeks themselves. We kind of get sneak peeks. We get some sneak peeks, but they're like very, very minimal. They're so, like, let me show you an example of a sneak peek that we would have gotten for this game. I know I've got one here of like the hacking tool, I think. Is that what I had? Actually, I'm not seeing it. Maybe it was in concept art. Hack. Does that pull up anything? No, it doesn't. Yeah, no, I can't even find it. But like, they do give us leaks every once in a while. They're just very, very minimal. They're pretty vague. They don't actually give us much info or context. Usually it comes with like some quote, some cheeky song. Like here's go. This is a leak. And it doesn't tell us anything. It literally just shows that they have the art of a tractor beam by Grey Cat for vehicles working, and doesn't tell us if it's in production, if it's in development, if it works with certain ships. Like, compared to leaks, especially data mine leaks, we just don't get much from them. More a sneak peek than a leak, yeah. Didn't you say there was a leak talking about the first fauna in the game? Some sort of insect? I don't think I did. You just talked about it for 2.5 hours, dude? Holy crap. Jeez, man, that's a long time. That's more than I could talk about it for. Do people still pay any attention to leaks or care about concept ships? Oh, I mean, the fact that all this stuff is happening, I think, shows that people care about them. You could enter before, but now you can't. Holy crap. This... By making the channel private, only select members can... No. Why is the stage channel such a pain? All right, let me add it so that... You know what? Screw this. Nope, I can't do it because I need to be people to be able to ask to talk, so we need the stage room. Manage channel, connect, check. Manage channel, connect, check. Frequenter, partner. Just doing some Discord management work right now. Shame on me. And that one, there we go. Okay. Okay. Noobs, regular members, and noobs, regular members, frequenters, everybody who has been pretty active in the Discord should now have access. Do people still pay attention? Oh, I already read that. I'm way behind now. Those are from the newsletter. We get those every week. Yeah, exactly. They're weekly sneakly peeklies. You buy first, then you read later, so you care. That is a way to live. The Rantar bug poop that poops in all the caves has been data mined. Yeah. I don't remember seeing that in the leaks, but I do remember hearing about it at least. Leaks are a big thing in every aspect of the entertainment business, regardless of game. Yeah, I don't see that changing anytime soon, just becomes about how the business deals with it. And every business will deal with it differently, and every fan will care about them differently. CIG set plenty of unrealistic expectations for the community themselves. A ship leak is like a drop in the bucket. But that's why, like, they should... That's what I'm saying. This is their chance to finally jump on unreal expectations that weren't set by themselves. So if I were them, I would take every opportunity to do that. But at the same time, it'd be great if they also got better about the expectations as well. Should be able to use the invite button at the bottom to have others join the stage to pull in others outside of... Yeah, this isn't even a GII thing. It'll be for the whole server, in fact. The thing is, it should only allow for people who are, like I said, active members. That's specifically because I can't check that myself. That's why I expect Discord to keep track of that for me. Free publicity. It is free publicity. Hey, VRK, how you doing? It is free publicity. It also dampens the effect of a release, but honestly, I don't know how many people truly care about that. Because it's gonna come out and it's gonna have just as big a splash if it leaked the week before or not, I think. It's really about the thought, the kind of how everybody views it, I guess. It's not necessarily about the leak itself, it's about what happens because of the leak based on the community's response, as you guys are saying, heightened expectations, and the company's response in whether or not they close down on the leaks or not. Or not. I said not twice. The official release is always 1,000 times more impactful than the leak every time. That's true. I don't think any ship release has really been ruined by a leak. But that doesn't change the fact that people will feel like it is. You always get the worst in your head in between that period of it being leaked and officially released. You yourself, the person who worked on it, will always have the worst outcomes in their head. Your thing is, what happened to that Argo MPUV with the miner head we saw at around CitizenCon with the attachment on top of the cockpit? I think that was a Squadron 42 asset. I don't remember what the context was that we saw that in, but I don't think that is going to be something we're seeing in Star Citizen. At least not soon. Maybe. It just looked very Squadron. If people get super excited for a feature that doesn't exist, they might get super upset if CIG didn't jump in to say something. Hey, that happens every year though, right? People always blame CIG even when it's not their fault. True, but CIG has brought a lot of that on themselves. That's on them. What's on them? Until it's officially confirmed, it's up there, and even if it's in the game, it might change. Yes, all of that is true. Sorry, I was a little lost with the comment. What's the big fuss? I think that they changed ships that were already sold. I think it's mostly just the breach of security, and the fact that they've now lost control of the communication. You want to be in control of all the stuff that's going out about the things that you're doing and what you're doing with them. And if that starts to get out of your hands, you start to panic a little bit. You start to want to bring that back in. Rein it in. Leaks are interesting. Sometimes the official releases can be corny. But we love that corn. That's CIG's got the cheese on lock. They're very good at being corny. Someone gets frustrated because you leak, because a leak didn't come true. That's on them, not on CIG. But people don't act rationally. They're not gonna... People aren't gonna be like, oh man, can't believe I believed that. Shame on me. Huh. No, they're gonna be like, wow, CIG could have done that and then they didn't. That's dumb. I thought that was what was coming out. This is very annoying. I hate getting whipped back and forth like this. I'm going somewhere else. Which, I mean, they can, but CIG doesn't want them to. CIG wants to make sure that they can minimize that kind of stuff as much as possible, and they don't do that on themselves a lot of the time. But at least when other people are leaking stuff, they can. You think leaks should be dealt with internally, not on Spectrum? I can understand that. And it looks like he was very hesitant to talk about it. Or at least he says that he almost didn't want to post it. So maybe he will regret it at some point. Maybe not. Hey, Light of Video Games. You hope I have an excellent stream. Thank you. You're like the one who asked me a long time ago about Quantanium. You congratulate me for the excellent video I made about the new environments of Star Citizen. I have a new subscriber. Thanks. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoy the rest of the videos. If it's about the galaxy, it seems to be a concept sale of a large ship. Will probably be years until it's flyable. What's knowing about a week before matter, and ships change a lot during development from concept to flyable often. Essentially, we spend a lot of time waiting and being disappointed by CIG, so we're pretty used to it, I think. But you have to, the question then becomes, does CIGs just say it all and let anything go? Or do they put their hand, like they have to put the foot down at some point, or else eventually it's just going to be free reign. Literally every single thing that can happen gets shared to the community. And like, I know people want to see that. Catmom was just on saying that they want to see everything, but I think at scale, like, that's insane. I was having an argument with somebody on Twitter. God, this person, like, I commented about how Twitter is acting out, like acting kind of wild out in public, and I feel like that's pretty irresponsible. Like, take care of your business as a business. Don't show it to us. Don't do it all out in front of us like this. And you could kind of say the same. You know, maybe CIG should handle this stuff internally. It puts it out less in front of people, and it causes less, like, uncertainty. If I were to say, if I told you guys all of the problems and issues that happened when I was doing my work, when I was trying to make videos or plan podcasts or put together streams, people would be so sick and tired of hearing about all the problems. I think that's like it would be a weird way to operate. And so yeah, I don't think they're going to be handling this stuff publicly too often. But I also don't think that they would want to have all of these things out there in the open like that, because it would probably start to grow uncertainty in the player base much faster than just, you know, regular leaks and stuff. And yeah, he wanted to put out a message that it was inaccurate. Best example for this to you was the Inforunner speculating like crazy about the capability of the Odyssey and then being all salty when it wasn't a refining base. The Odyssey was a weird ship release. That was bad. I hope they don't do something that bad again this IAE. It does kind of seem like it should have been an internal memo, not a public Spectrum post. I don't think this was their memo. I think they probably have something much more formal going from somebody much higher than Xylo that's internal. I think this is the public clarification and call out so that they can make an example of the situation. Force the dev to write a 15,000 word essay. Tell us the entire story of Squadron 42. Torture. Leaks prevent hype and fun. Makes announcements more disappointing for the devs and players, and likely also results in a drop in revenue. Imagine being told the ending of The Shining before watching it. The calls were coming from inside the house. They do have a negative effect. I think there's negative effects and positive effects. I don't know if you could quantify which one is more effective or which makes a bigger difference, especially not on an overall standpoint. Like maybe one case or another, leaks make a certain amount of have a certain effect on the community, but it's going to be really hard to try and quantify how they affect the development overall. Do you think if everyone went wild with the leak, do you think they would have this reaction? I do. Yeah, I don't think this is a reaction to negativity. I think this is a reaction to, hold on everybody, let us get the official info out before you get too wild with the speculation. Because I don't think this is the first, this isn't the first post about the leaks. I imagine it's not. I don't know, I haven't perused Spectrum. I'm not a Spectrumite. I don't battle in the trenches of Spectrum. But I don't think this is like a response to negativity. There's such a weak amount of negativity reacting surrounding these leaks. There's so much more negativity to be had elsewhere in the project. Leaks to you are equivalent to a situation. You're in class doing a test and one of your classmates grabs your sheet mid-class and reading it out loud to everyone before you got to finish it or correct it. I still go back to like, when I'm making a video and I have the voice down and I have some of the B-roll down, but not really much of it. I have like the transitions down. I have the chapter titles down and I'm listening through it and there's no music. I'm like, holy crap, this is so bad. Nobody's going to want to watch this. And then I finish it and I do the music and I button it all up and I render it and I watch it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. That's how I view it. And I'm just imagining if somebody shared out, and obviously this isn't like somebody leaked the whole finishing product. This is not a apples to apples or a tomato to tomate comparison. But, you know, same idea applies. You think something's crappy until you know it's done. And if it gets sent out when you still think it's crappy, you get like, oh God, freaks you out. All right, we got Ferrister on the line. Gonna hop in and have a little word. Tell me what you have to say about the Leaky Leakies, my friend. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. How's the voice?
Good. You sound good.
Levels are good. I've been really enjoying listening to the conversation. I think it's wherever you sit on the perspective of leaks. I think Xylo's post was very carefully and very well written, actually, and he does talk about a lot of the things that you have been raising. So I honestly, there'll be some people that like to listen to the leaks. I usually avoid the leaks, but I find this conversation quite interesting because it's more about the management of information in CIG for the project.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the message was really well worded.
Yeah, I think I can't speak towards whether it was like some official statement. It's in the comments section of the Spectrum thread, but I think it was, well worded and had a very specific message to send, if not a couple different messages to send. Do you follow the leaks very closely normally?
No, I don't. I don't like actively avoid the leaks, but I don't seek them out either. I'm probably similar to some of the things that Croncy is writing in chat, which is, I quite like the surprise of things. I quite like the hype of things. And equally, for some elements, I want to respect CIG's development process and, the way that they want to release that information to us. Because things will change, right? I've been following this project for a long time.
Sorry, I have to close the window. Keep talking.
Never had the door shut on me like that before. But yeah, I think it's one of those where I've followed the project for almost 10 years now, and lots of things have changed in that time, and that's part of the process of developing, learning, testing, balancing. And I've seen in the past when they've released ships, I'll not name names, but everyone can imagine a ship that was released as being very, very powerful, was quickly changed, and people felt, well, that's not what I thought I was getting.
Oh, no.
And so for me, I think the key point that Xylo raises is that actually the reason they've addressed this now is because they don't want that sort of a situation where somebody goes, oh, this sounds like an amazing thing for me, but actually that's not what's being released. It was an early stage. So.
Mm-hmm. I kind of agree with you. I want to preserve the surprise for myself. I try to stay away from Squadron 42 stuff. I didn't watch the video that came out about it. I think it was like a month or two ago, maybe. But do you think that the leaks are an overall positive or negative for the community? Maybe not the company, but the community itself.
I think it depends on what it is and how it's managed, and people's kind of general respect for each other about the people that are really keen to see leaks and get information as quickly as possible, and the people that would actually rather not. They'd rather wait and see the surprise. I think clearly any kind of information security element is more concerning than just like the data mining stuff that happens when a new patch is released. So I'm much more okay with things like, oh, the Eva Carty build there's got some surprises in it and everybody knows what the surprises is. Well, that's kind of okay because, CIG have released those files to, I know it's a select group, but the public. Whereas, things that are like a compromised security for CIG, that worries me a little bit more, because if there's been leaks on this, that, or the other, what's to stop my personal information? I know that they'll all be housed in different systems, but you know what I'm getting at. That's a security issue rather than a we've put this out for download issue. Yeah,
it's like what I was saying earlier about Twitter. Like, it might not be the exact thing happening that bothers you, but it does lend towards more uncertainty in how they can handle other things. Sorry, I got the call to prayer. Close the window, it doesn't help. I agree with you there. I think that he definitely, like you said earlier, put that clearly into his message, that there's a difference between kind of the natural leaks that come from obviously more of our people getting to test the game and Evocati and stuff like that versus something that's actively been leaked by the company. The thing is, I always thought that some of the leaks that we were getting were leaked by people in the company, and was wondering if this is different. I don't know how much you've followed that stuff, but in the past, I thought that we had seen leaks that were coming from other people who worked at CIG.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to know because we ultimately don't have that information. Like, this is speculation. I mean, I think the thought here is that it probably did come from someone within CIG, given the nature of what was released. But equally, it could have been third parties that they work with. They have got some third party companies out there that they do a lot of close work with at the moment. So it's hard to say. I don't have the information.
Yeah. No, I mean, none of us really do. I'm just going off of the quality of pictures we've received of ships. Always, sometimes they look like they're coming from internal, but it's never really known. I just wonder if this is something that came off a little bit differently, because when I did see this specific leak, I thought it looked different. Like, I had never really seen one that had that sort of looked like it was made to be presented kind of look to it. You know what I mean? And so I do see how this could be a bit different.
But that could be the nature of the way that the ship pipeline has evolved. Back in time, ship development was much messier than it is now. They've clearly got a process. They've got it nailed down. They follow through the steps. And actually, when you watch some of the things that they do publish after the event to say, this is how we concepted this ship, a lot of the devs talk about how they go and present their suggestions to the likes of Chris Roberts, and he goes, well, I like this, I like this, I like that one. So it's possible that something like this could have been part of an internal presentation for feedback or for approval, rather than something that's necessarily for release.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was getting from it. Overall, how are you feeling about the ships coming up?
Intrigued. I've not gone into too much detail around the leaks because I'm interested to see the actual information, and I always say to my friends, I want to see the ship actually in game first, because then you're not falling in love with a dream. You're enjoying a ship for what it actually is, how it actually performs in kind of the in-game implementation. But
yeah,
I'm really interested to see it. I mean, most of us that follow Star Citizen, we love ships anyway. So seeing new ships, as much criticism as they get for releasing new ships, it's usually a very popular thing to do.
That's why getting a new ship leaked is probably better for them than seeing early hacking gameplay leaked, because if we got to see actual gameplay in its early phase, that would probably be a different reaction from a ship. If it's a ship, there's most of the community is going to be positive about it because we just like ships.
Yeah, no, I do agree. And to be fair, I'm not totally against leaks. If there was, we've accidentally released loads of information about the Javelin destroyer, I'd be there. So I'm not, I'm not totally against it. But
yeah,
I just equally, I want to respect the control that CIG has over the development process, and the fact that by the nature of it, things change through development, which is why I thought the post again was really, really good, because it said, look, this is a response because we don't want people to be hyping up about this, that, or the other.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, thank you, Ferrister, for coming on and talking about this. Is there anything else you wanted to say about this stuff before we hopped off?
No, just I'm glad to see Vape Tracer has put a hand up. I do hope more people are feeling confident about getting involved. And if you're not, be sure to join the Garden Discord server. I'm sure you'll get all of the information out as well, Keenan.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right. Vape Tracer will be up in a second. Let me just look through the comments real quick and answer. So you said, is leaks suddenly the hot topic today? It is certainly something to talk about. I started with the roadmap roundup, and I was actually going to talk a little bit about this. This is a lore post about IAE, but we didn't really get to that. I did want to start, though, a new format of show that I'm doing, where instead of just talking to one or two people who also run YouTube channels or stream, talk to more of the regular community in my Discord server. So still setting up the little details and things, but overall making it so that people who are active in the Discord server will have the chance to come on here probably once every week or two to talk about a major topic of the day, this time obviously being the leaks, or just Star Citizen in general, or even other games, really just anything that they want to talk about and share with the community. Today we decided to use leaks as our excuse. All right, our next guest on is Vape Tracer, a newer member of the community, coming in to talk a little bit about the leaks. go ahead and tell us what you think, my friend.
Hello everyone. How's the voice? It's okay.
Yeah, you sound good.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for this kind of new show that you have. I've been hearing your videos and enjoying a lot. Also in the community is awesome. So thank you about that. Regarding the leaks, as I was stating earlier, and you already said that it's free. It's free marketing that they have, but we cannot forget that this community is one of the gaming communities that I know of that goes off of dreams and buy things about dreams instead of waiting to see them. And a leak can cause a lot of damage to the company, because if they say, for example, this last leak, what we saw, for me, it's okay. I'm not that kind of guy. I have entered in Star Citizen because of the end dream, not the things that we are receiving now. It's something that I'm on the long run. But for most of the people, if they love the ship itself, and then it wasn't anything like that, that would take a toll to the company. Nonetheless, the reply that they have shows that CIG is maturing in their communication. Yes, they talk with us. We are stakeholders. Nonetheless, one stakeholder more than others because they spend a lot more than the others. But at least we know that we are being warned about the wrong things that come online by the leaks, because there are a lot of false leaks. You just search it at Google and you'll see. I think that they are starting to get on with it. They are starting to want the show going on with the new Gen 12 and everything else. And I think this will be very positive for the game in the end.
I agree.
A small leak.
I do think that they've improved with their communication. I've put out a couple things earlier in the last few months where I think there are holes that can be poked in the way that they've been communicating, because they've definitely been missing some stuff, but they've gotten better at it. They still definitely have blind spots, but I agree with you there, just in terms of replying to things and giving us a proper response on some things.
Yeah. Also, I enjoy more the things that are now than they always talking about what's coming out, and in the end, it didn't come out. It's a lot better now. The communication by them, and regarding the ships that they sell and they give us always ships. Come on, that's the main part that keeps this company going. So they have to keep selling ships even if the gameplay isn't there. So I think that the leaks will be a lot larger leaks in the future, and some of them, as you stated incorrectly, looked like they came internally. And I know that they will deal internally with that, but to get it out there, to say, hey, we know the leaks aren't the right thing and everything else, it shows that they are concerned about the product that goes outside, and that's as a player of this game. I get hyped with that, because quality is something that we all should be asking for CIG for the long term.
Mm-hmm.
And 12 years that the game hasn't been launched from alpha, and I think it's 12 if I'm not mistaken. And if they start showing quality and everything else, I think that we are on the right path. Just that. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Was that all you had to say?
I will write some comments on the show. It's okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your opinion on it.
See you on the verse.
See you around. The vehicle that was just being shown here was the Spartan. I'm just gonna have the last year's IAE. Honestly, maybe we could, if you guys want, we can listen to a little bit of it. But this is part of the marketing that they do around this event. I think one of the best parts of IAE is, as long as you're cool with not spending the money, I never buy anything during this event, but I always love the videos that they put out. I think they're entertaining. I think they give us some decent insight into the actual like lore and atmosphere of the Star Citizen verse, world, universe that we don't get in the game yet because the game's not developed enough. So I like watching them, and they've put out some good stuff. One year they put out a like 11-minute short story, which was pretty cool. And it was called The Reunion. In fact, we can watch it if you guys would like to. But I hope they put out one like that for the Corsair. That'd be cool. By the way, Morphologist came with a raid while we were having that last talk. I'm sorry I didn't get to catch you, dude. I did give you that shout out though, for all those people who are living under a rock and don't know who Morphologist is. Check him out. He makes YouTube content, does a lot of streams, talks some good stuff. He's been on the podcast. Overall, great guy. Fun to talk to. Thank you for the raid, and thanks for everybody who came along with him. You wonder who will replace Jax for time? I wonder if they'll just have Jimmy do it. They just have him hanging out, doing basically what he did in the last year when he couldn't talk and just gestured to everything. Bit of a cliffhanger for this year with Jax going pyro and now claimed to be dead. You know why they claimed him to be dead? They just couldn't continue the show. It's very sad and kind of funny that they had to claim him dead. Because he went to pyro and just couldn't come back. They were like, oh, don't worry, Jax, we'll catch up with you for next IAE. And then like we just couldn't go to pyro. But that being said, I guess it's not like they would host IAE at pyro. So he would have had to come back, right? I don't know. No, we'll have to see what they do with it. But I think it is funny the way that they're going about it. You hope Alex Dugan takes over the show. That would be cool. But she's kind of like a criminal, right? That would be a little weird. Still there last you heard? Okay. Did I shave my head again? I did. Also, you can tell what happens to Jack if I wish to know. I do not wish to know. Not yet. Hope I'm well. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I figure he's not dead. We will see what happens to him, though. There's no way they put the memoriam there unless he's going to do something in these presentations 100%. Yeah, have a little comeback, I guess. But, like... Dang. Do you guys think that maybe they would have footage of him in pyro? Maybe pyro IAE will be... Oh, God, my camera. No! No. I hate this thing. Sheesh. If you couldn't guess, I need a new tripod. I need new things. They can always introduce one of the other two OG members in their SC persona. That's true. I don't think they've ever put them on film, right? They talked about reviving people from near death. This could be to show the revival mechanic, the regeneration stuff. Hope he gets held for ransom and Jimmy saves him. Oh, that'd be great if they introduced some gang stuff in the IAE. Using marketing material as a way to also build the lore is a pretty good idea. That'd be nice if they did that. Some professional streaming right there, you know it. Getting paid for it. Calling it now. Jax is dead, everyone mourns. There's a Drake presentation. Sonic boom, enter scene, roof. A cutter comes floating in. Steam smoke lighting team off the rails. Jack walks out, slap the roof. This baby saved my life. He just found a cutter out there in pyro. It says in memory of Jax, so maybe just no news from him. Yeah, could be it. He's just been separated for a year. This expensive production set with ships and guns and tanks couldn't make contact with Jax in the next system over for a year. We'll go with it. We'll let it slide. Sure.
This gunship to ever make a vandal soil its bioarmor would be well served. Farting paint onto somebody's penthouse.
He had this whole character
I've
arc
lost my
last
way,
year.
Jim. I don't think it's even about the ships anymore. Yeah, well, you host the show, Jimmy. I'm done.
Oh, that's kind of rude. Midlife. Imagine if you had your midlife crisis and you could just take a spaceship and fly away. I'd get behind that kind of midlife. Shoot. Just like I gotta ride my freaking electric scooter down the street and then come back home. Let's see. So this is the Crusader Day. I think this is the one where they kind of show off the Ion. It's a pretty cool shot.
Cut! Jimmy.
So for anybody who doesn't know, this show is kind of like Top Gear, to the point where they have this character who's kind of like the Stig, never talks, wears a helmet, kind of the stunt pilot. And then they have their normal guy, Jax McCleary, who's kind of like their Jeremy Clarkson, who is now off the show. So we're seeing the Stig try to run the show.
We're rolling. You want a bucket? Nope. We're over here, Jimmy. Uh-huh. Eyes front. Reset.
There's the finger work that really did it. See, they just like sneakily hide stuff in there like an Argo MPUV using a tractor beam. Ah. I want it. And then they also sneak those Makos in there. You see the Reliant Makos, the filming ships we were talking about earlier?
I can't believe he's really doing it.
A lot of this stuff is so entertaining, but why not use the resource on the game itself, on the game instead? I mean, you could argue that this is for the game. This marketing probably pays for itself and then some by the amount of people who buy ships because of these videos. So it's probably more helpful than if they fired these people and got additional people to join the game and try and work on features. Yeah, it's also their marketing team. Hey, Pops! I wish that actually happened to us. I also wish that happened.
I still don't know how you're going to pull this bit off solo. Likely kill yourself. Oh my god, he's gonna kill himself!
Polite, how you doing? Yo, that's sick. Imagine if the Ion is actually that strong. It just splits the Idris. Literally, you can't even do that to a Cyclone with the Ion right now.
Jimmy. Now we're even for what happened in God.
Yeah, maybe somebody softened it up.
Let's see what this cannon can really do for a proper big finish.
Oh, shit. And speaking of finished, I think we better get out of here.
What are you doing, Jim?
Cow Chat, are you saying there's cutting it? The stream is cutting off? Is anybody experiencing problems with the stream? Is that widespread? No signal? Huh. Wonder if that's my capture card. Hold on a second. That might have explained. Not seeing it on OBS. I'll keep an eye on it though.
Jimmy, enjoying the view? Got a show to finish.
Almost every time I pause it. That's weird. During the video. What? Is YouTube causing problems? All right, how about now? If I pause it, no signal? Happened since the camera went pear-shaped. I see. Might have a camera problem then.
That was some serious fun out there.
No issues now.
Admitting you couldn't have done it without me. I mean, the cannons on those Ares models. Was that like a size 7? That is nuts. Absolutely insane. Raw power.
How about now? Sorry, I'm just going to keep doing that. Can I link the previous video? I'll link this one, and the previous one will probably pop up in the recommended for you. There you go.
Couldn't have put it better myself, mate.
Bitrate is good. Bitrate's all the way at 7K.
To say the least. But thanks to Jimmy here, I've been reminded of why I started doing all of this in
Maybe
the first
it's full
place.
screen.
At the end of the day, it's all about the ships.
It might be the full screen setting.
So here are some highlights of intergalactic aerospace expos, past and present.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. This is the last episode where we see him go missing.
Here at the Drake Pavilion.
What?
Just
Now? It happened there? What? Nothing changed on my screen. Come on.
I'll tell Jan Dredge.
Play, here we go. Oh, what's this do?
What is going on?
Holy shit. Now, what's with this front wheel axle? And the fixed maneuvering thrusters really come through the clutch.
I hate streaming.
And once you figure out the floaty stairs, the car to Arl absolutely sings in more ways than just Shan Opera. We've loaded up this Argo raft.
Ah, there
with
it is.
Several cases of
What the heck?
vessel.
What are you doing? Stop that. Cut that out. Why'd you do that? Don't do that. Stay normal. Give signals. All right? Yes signal. Not no. Idiot.
Blanc de Blanc Reserve. That's right, 2 crates of sparkling wine worth more
Must
than
be
my
my capture card.
penthouse in Castor Point.
Good job, chat. You're not crazy. You guys, you figured it out. Oh, God. There's always something. There's always something with with streaming. Let me see. Let me check the connections real quick.
Ridiculous? Certainly.
What the heck?
Al was always terrible at this. Nailed it.
I can't find the limit! Apology accepted!
Jimmy? You okay, lad? What's this?
Looking good, Jim.
How old are you in this?
Now go pose for a picture with your hero, Jack.
Wow.
Face me. Smile. Say freelancer. Brilliant. Look at that.
Damn it, Jimmy.
That warms my heart. Makes me feel old as hell, but it warms my heart nonetheless. You're a good
Yeah,
kid,
I don't know.
Jimmy.
I guess it's
You make me proud.
something with running
Let's
YouTube
get
right
out of
now.
here
Very
before
weird.
they kick us out. Let's go and see what the hubbub
Let's
is
keep
about.
watching this. We'll finish this off and then get back to the leakies. How do I... There we go.
Dare to fly. I think I still need to do some serious soul searching, Jimmy.
Not a
There
bug.
it is.
Giving you the full
Odyssey.
experience.
This ship is something else, huh? I mean, supposedly, it basically becomes your own personal space station. Imagine just taking this thing out as far as you can, dropping anchor and just living. I mean, that's it, Jimmy. The Whitleys just got their hands on an Odyssey prototype. I'm sure they wouldn't mind if I borrowed it.
Hey,
for a
hey,
little
hey,
sabbatical
stop that.
someplace. I don't know, like the Pyro system. Yeah, or someplace like that. I mean, someplace where no one will bother me. I need to get my head straight before next season. If I even make it back, that is.
He didn't.
Okay, everything is looking good. This is it.
I'll miss you too, Jimmy. But don't wait up for me, mate.
And we all got robbed of the last shot. Okay, but like, was that not a Star Trek song at the end of there? Right? Didn't that sound very Star Trek-y? Hold on, let me go back to that.
This is it.
They do not hide from their inspirations.
I'll miss you too, Jimmy. But don't wait up for me, mate.
That's so close to Star Trek. They know their market. They CIG, they're marketing. They're like a marketing company with a game being made. Oh gosh, why are y'all saying he didn't make it? Oh, they in their teaser trailer for the new event. Oh yeah, not the original Star Trek. No. I don't think they could do that. In the event, the announcement for the new event, they posted like a in memoriam.
Won't wanna miss. We'll see you there.
So the idea is he didn't make it back. And so they're like, well, we're not going to Pyro to find him. we'll just assume he's dead. He's MIA. Imagine if Pyro comes out and you have to find Jackson Pyro, you get a free ship. Ooh, I want a one of a kind ship. I want his ship, his Odyssey. Always get inspired by your idols to succeed yourself. Jimmy is going to be the new host, huh? That's how I'm taking what you said. Sounded more like J.J. Abrams starts at heading to bed, Croncy. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Yo, thank you for the raid, dude. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. We have to have another talk soon, man, or at least jumping game together. Lev Plays is back, though. He did not make it back in time. He did not, because Pyro didn't make it in. I wonder if they would have gone with something different if Pyro was in game, or if they'll just go with what they were already going to do. Can we have Picard in game? Space Tomato, the new Jax? No way. No, I could never have this amount of charm, charisma, and overall just look at that. Look at that handsome fellow. The energy. You need energy up there. This dude's out there throwing himself on spaceships and driving through fire flicking spaceships shooting at him and spaceship things and spaceship this. Not with that attitude. I'm okay just like covering the videos of him doing that stuff. I'm too old for that, you know? I'm retired. I'm out of that lifestyle. Jax has got another couple decades in him, but me, whew, nah. I've already backed for 10 years. I'm good. I can sit back. Obviously aged host. Watch the greatest hits of his life and then flies prototyping ship off to a known pirate system to do soul searching. Yeah, he's having a phase. These videos won't be made last minute. This was planned some time ago. Yeah, but I mean, I'm guessing 6 months ago they probably were making these videos, and 6 months ago they also knew they weren't going to have pyro this year. I mean, they knew they weren't going to have pyro back in like May. So I'm just wondering if in May when they realized that, or in February when they realized that, they were like, okay, let's shift up the story a little bit. Too old for that, looking at a literal old guy. No, man. Jax has only been around for like 6 years, 7 years. He's plenty young. He's got so much time ahead of himself. With medical gameplay, we can extend your life now. Yo, bring it right over here, please. Jacob Hegel, thank you for the membership on YouTube. I appreciate that. It means a ton. YouTube membership is key to us being able to keep doing this. So thank you so much for adding to that, and enjoy the exclusive videos. Sometimes when I'm talking, I sound like an idiot. Enjoy the exclusive videos you get access to on the channel. They're right on the front page. They go into more depth about Star Citizen. They're higher quality. And I pour some love into them. Hope you enjoy. But you'll still never get that 10 years back. Yep. You're right about that. So much has happened in the last 10 years, though. If we see things as in-game wise, everyone is immortal in there, except if you don't have insurance. Like me. Just 28, feel like you're 82. Dude, we've been at this back in my day. Back in my day, Star Citizen was just a theory crafting topic on the forums. Now it's a theory crafting topic on Twitch. Face looks smooth like a baby's butt. Don't old man us. Bruh, it's just sunscreen. I have the skin of an 82-year-old, but the sunscreen of a geez. I don't know. What's a sunscreen company? I know a lotion company. Youngins, 59 soon to be 60. Started back in the game back in 2013. My brother-in-law asked what the average age of this game was, and I told him it's older than us. He's like, what? Surprises people. We've been lied to. Tomat has more makeup than an Asian cosplayer. It's not makeup, I'm telling you. It's sunscreen. Sunscreen moisturizer. A little bit of retinoid on the side. So I imagine we have a slightly different group in the chat now than when we were talking about the leaks before. But I'm kind of hosting a little talk show right now for my community, for really any of the regular members in the community. People who are more active in the Discord, who are free to come in and sort of talk about their opinions about Star Citizen leaks and all the stuff surrounding them, because they've kind of acknowledged them for the first time officially. And I feel like that speaks some volumes towards recent leaks as opposed to other leaks, which they are now telling us they've been cool with as far as the data mining goes. For all you oldies, heed this advice: whenever you start to feel old, just move your hand to a smoother, less wrinkly bit. Always take it back to the butt. Sim gamers always tend to be older. Yeah, especially sim gamers who are trying to play a game that doesn't run on like 60% of computers and also takes like a ton of patience. Like, this is not a game made for young gamers right now. I wouldn't have had the patience for this 10 years ago. I mean, I didn't have the patience for this until like 3 or 4 years ago. That's when I started following regularly. Now it takes up all my time. Look how it works. Like, I'm trying to play other games. I started playing Deep Space Galactic, Deep Rock Galactic this weekend, after taking some months off from it. And I was like, yeah, I need to play more games more times. It's all wrinkles now. Yeah, it is a very good game. Fantastic game. If people are dumb enough to get disappointed when leaks don't turn out to be true, CIG shouldn't care, but that's just me. You got to look at it from the public figure standpoint. It's hard. It's hard to. Like, I oftentimes forget to, but if you think about it, if you're like a big company and you're trying to make the most of everything that you're doing, even if the stuff that you're doing is not the most efficient, which I think we can all agree, CIG is not necessarily the most efficient. But if there's a certain amount of people that will always react to stuff at face value and never really like think things through, you'll eventually start to lose money on those people. And they exist everywhere. Like, go into a Twitter thread about a new smartphone being announced and you'll see it. People will be like saying the craziest stuff and getting disappointed and annoyed with things that don't matter, but it ends up spreading and causing fear. What is it? FUD? Fear, uncertainty, and destruction. I don't know. That's what I'm going with. Fear, uncertainty, and destruction in their brains. And I think it eventually starts to hit your bottom line if you do let it get out of hand. I don't think like you need to have an iron fist, right? You don't need to hammer everything down that happens. But at some point, you probably should step in and kind of ease the flow, especially if it's something that's happening in ways that you weren't expecting. Like here, they're talking about how they expect things to happen from data mining. But if it starts to be like your friend or your coworker starting to give things out in ways that you wouldn't expect, that kind of changes things, I think. There would be no need for leaks if CIG wasn't so secretive in the first place. They do it for marketing. They didn't mention this sort of behavior during the Kickstarter, and it was only gotten worse over the years. They've definitely stopped communicating as much. I don't think they're that secretive, though. I mean, in terms of context, relatively speaking, I don't really find them to be super secretive. But they have gotten less sherry over the years. That's true. I think the issue... Hey, Board Gamer. How you doing? Good to see you, buddy. How are things going for you right now, man? You think the issue is public opinion. Most people do not research or just read titles and go, oh, CIG sucks, and that will affect them trying or deciding for themselves. Adulting is hard. It builds up, too. It's not just necessarily one thing. It's kind of like getting advertisements. You don't care about a product the first time you see it, but maybe the next time you see it on a TV commercial, you hear somebody talk about it, you'd be like, oh, I think I heard about that the other day. And then it comes up again, you know, when you're scrolling down the list on YouTube or something, you're like, wow, that's crazy. I'll watch this video about it. And then it comes up one more time when you're like walking through the street and you're like, you know, I've been like reading about this. Let me try it out. That's how like food works and stuff. That's how advertisement works. And the opposite can happen too. You slowly get exposed to more and more disappointment or more and more misunderstanding or more confusion, and eventually it has a bigger effect on you. Not to say that CIG doesn't already cause that for themselves, let's be honest. But where you can control it, you should. And if it's as easy as putting out a message to control it, then might as well. It's not like this looks bad on them. They could make a comment the same exact way as this about themselves. Hey, we put out expectations that sometimes get people too riled up for announcements and then they get disappointed. Shame on us. Bad CIG. Don't do that. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to come out on Spectrum and say that they were wrong. This is just an easy way to also bring attention to that and, you know, kind of expect it. Seems normal game company stuff. Yeah, I would expect this to be normal media company stuff. By the standards of the video game industry, they're not secretive. As a whole, though, I've never understood why video games are so secretive. You don't see this level of clampdown like movies or television. Don't you, though? I feel like I don't know anything about the movie making process. I think the most I've ever had insight into a movie being made was Avatar. And like, obviously you can get behind the scenes stuff after it comes out, but when a movie is being made, I feel like we don't hear anything about it. And then when we do, it's like a year maybe before it comes out, and it's just trailers and stuff. Same with music. I feel like you don't really ever hear music in progress being made. Art pieces like paintings and stuff, usually it's finished before it's on show. I feel like games as an art form aren't that out of the norm in terms of how secretive they are. This gave you bad feelings seeing Xylo's response. Technically, the leaker is his teammate, and going on to admit such things publicly on Spectrum is a bad look for CIG. I also wouldn't want to be around the CIG water coolers today. Does it come off as a bad thing to say? I mean, he didn't say their name. Have some unique takes on the Leaks channel and their impact. Can't join the channel or listen, so it's up to me to trust you. That's fair. Always feel free to share that chat in the actual Leaks channel on our Discord too. I do need to make sure that this system, I gotta make sure to make this system work a little bit better. But yeah, this is also obviously something that I hope will help to spur some more engagement in Discord and get people to be a little bit more active and talking to each other, as this will be something that the people who are normally talking can then bring that into this discussion on the stream. Maybe CIG doesn't want the community seeing their ideas for the game. That's why they're against people leaking info about a ship before they knew what was going to be in the game. When you think about it, they started the campaign with Squadron and promised open development, and then what they advertise as primary product, they keep in secret, and the rest is really marketing for ships. Let's be honest, they push ships onto the roadmap for development, and sadly to the end of the year, take it off. Make some good sales in between. They are very secretive about Squadron, which is kind of their main focus. We need cave-based race driving. Ryan, I love your spark of enthusiasm in the middle of the conversation. You see it with movies and even books. See the leaks board or the sharing of information? Games are secretive for the hype. CIG have alluded to making mistakes though. They've alluded to it. They could do a little bit better about like acknowledging it though and fixing it. Music pieces sound terrible being made. Yeah. And the game looks terrible being made. People are acting entitled. CIG does not have to share anything with us. CIG can be like every other AAA studio and give us nothing at all, but people get an inch and they want a mile. I think if they did that, they would probably go out of business though. I think their openness with the development and actually letting people try this stuff out is part of what keeps it going. Board, you think they should have handled it internally? CIG aren't publicly traded. There aren't any shareholders. There are shareholders, but not just investors, private company investors. He didn't say their name, but it's still his teammate. I don't look at it from that perspective. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's definitely some not anger, but possibly resentment felt there. So there could be emotion tied to that. What other thing can games? What other thing than games can you literally get thousands of hours of use? Bruh, you've never tried a puzzle with me. I have not finished the puzzle that I started when I was 8 years old, giving me the most hours of entertainment of my life. Amen to that. Puzzles for the win. You would assume that if they actually know which employee leaked the info, that person is getting fired. It's assumed, yeah. Your primary concern from the start is the control Chris has over the project direction. Chris is a visionary, which is great, but bad for meeting deadlines. The more power Aaron has over direction, the better, since he's been a project lead and knows how to focus the development to produce results. And a lot of people were a lot more confident when Aaron came in and started to kind of take over what was going on in the European side. By the way, Board, I'm sorry, I just realized you also raided when you came in here. Thank you so much for the raid, man. It's terrible. I have Discord up, so it's blocking my normal view to Twitch. So I'm missing things. I also missed a sub from Pop in Space. Pops, thank you. Much appreciated. And Relentless, you as well, my friend. Thanks for the Prime sub. And Pops with the tier 1. Pops is making tier 1 content themselves. I don't know if you have YouTube or anything, or a Twitch. I believe there's a YouTube. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. If you worked for CIG and you knew someone who leaked it against the policies to do so, you wouldn't keep that a secret to your bosses who did what and how. It's commentary for the podcast and the Asian community, so it wouldn't help posting it in the leaks channel. Maybe I'll wait for another podcast then. Okay, I gotcha. You hear people say this game company is secretive, you never hear a comparison. There's no one to compare to. Like, who else is trying to do this? The leaks and them trying super hard to not leak it. Harry Potter, for example. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. The way that companies respond to leaks is pretty standard. Revixie, thanks for the sub, mate. Also, thanks for helping me with Restream that time. That was great. Hey, Brain Leaks. Good to see ya. Somebody did say leaks. We've summoned him. CIG could explain better stuff they do, like when they explain why they removed the Grey Cat from the best ship vote because it is due to a remodel and don't want to create a skin. That will need to be redone shortly after. Or like, I don't know, maybe iCache? Imagine if they stopped talking and say we will see you all in 2026. I would think they must have gotten some huge injection from some investor and they were like, okay, screw the crowdfunding, we're good. Shut it down. Let's make this game. We're pulling the alpha off. Not releasing any more updates. CitizenCon is history. Oh, that would be a bummer. Man, that would change my entire life. This public rebuke might also be like a head-on, a pike, so employees don't get any ideas about releasing Squadron 42. That's what I was saying. It felt kind of like also making an example. And using the community as part of the response in that example. Let's be honest, let's cancel Squadron 42 and Star Citizen and make Squadron 53 and Star Civilian. How about Star Resident? Like, you're gonna have to play this game for 7 years and then you can upgrade to Star Citizen. How about that? Then you can vote, you can buy cigarettes, you can even get porn. I don't think that's linked to citizenry, but we'll go with it. You're all good with being a backer, or else you might spend all the money on drugs and women. I mean, there's nothing wrong with spending money on drugs and women. Imagine a studio receiving money from CIG, keeping the development secret from CIG, and just keep pushing timelines. CIG receives all their money from the backers and keep pushing stuff. They'd lose that crowd if they closed everything off. Yeah, they'd lose their main crowd. Like, that'd be a terrible idea. And yeah, I think showing the development of the game itself helps to bring people in. It's a form of marketing. Above all else, it's a fantastic form of marketing. It's like a constant behind the scenes during the scenes being behind. it's a really unique view on a large scale project you just don't get in any industry. You enjoy the leaks even if they're wrong. Give us something to talk about instead of all the bugs or delays. It's kind of like shanking the wrapped boxes at Christmas. Oh, shaking the wrapped boxes. If you don't want to be called out, don't be an employee that leaks stuff. It's not like CIG did a blizzard and harassed women in this leak. Oi, they just did something they shouldn't have and are being called out for such. Twitch is behind YouTube like a second or two. Yeah, Twitch is kind of slower. Wow, I'm so far behind on chat. Let me catch up to all y'all. Residential citizen, star fisherman, the star farmer. I want to be a star farmer though. Like, what is your crazy profession story? What's the gnarly off the beaten path profession that you would love to do in space in Star Citizen? Hey, Lev, you can quote me on that. I'll tell you what, California, weed is legal. All right. And both me and my wife like it. So by buying us some weed, I'm spending money on a woman and drugs. And it's okay for us. They need to show us everything done. No more leaks. You mean like just only show us the stuff that is already done, or show us everything all up, like as soon as it's being worked on? You mean they need to show us everything that's being done or everything when it is done? That's what I meant. Fire Sprite was brought out by Sony. Theaters of War devs stopped because of it, but some Fire Sprite devs went to CIG. Yep. You think leaks are a great indicator of how many people are interested and have a love for the game? We should be worried if the leaks stop altogether. It is, yeah, it is people who are interested in seeing it. Not so much in Turkey Grump, yeah. But going back to California in a couple weeks. They just made it legal in your state, not sure how to celebrate. Just kick back and be grateful that people aren't putting unnecessary restrictions on things that have been humanly okay to use for millennia. It's nice when we stop punishing people for dumb things. D&D campaign using the current Star Citizen world's locations. Really, that's cool. I want a pen and paper sci-fi game. I mean, I say I want it, but I probably wouldn't play it all that much. There was one actually that I got interested in for a bit. It inspired Starfield. Can't remember what it's called. It's in my Starfield video, but it was a pretty cool pen and paper RPG, sci-fi based, space bounty hunters, aliens, space is others. Space is another thing in it. When any software project is started, the very first step is to define core features. What are the basic things that this project must have to function? Everything else after that is a bonus, but not absolutely necessary. Number one core requirements for SC is server meshing and should have been the primary focus from day one. But Chris Roberts. It's a good conversation. And I wonder if they ever had a conversation together where they were like, hey, we know we're going to have to build this technology, but the rest of the engine can't support it, and decided they needed to build out other parts of the engine first, or like how that worked. Because I know the back-end tech that led to server meshing was being worked on since back when they did like 64-bit precision stuff, right? Like that, they already kind of had that trajectory in their mindset. And then they moved on to OCS and stuff like that, and then persistence. You want to work in a Big Benny processing plant in-game. Planet side or in a space station? Big Benny's in a space station sounds a little too claustrophobic for me. Starfinder is a good RPG? Okay. Going back to the States just to visit for now. Hoping to move back for good next year sometime. Well, not for good. We'll always be coming back here for a couple months, but you get what I mean. They accidentally legalized 5 milligram edibles in your state. Very weirdly specific, and they didn't really pass anything pertaining to how to regulate or sell it. What? That's weird. So when people say Star Citizen can be as closed as other video game companies as far as information, you think they are forgetting that Star Citizen started off as a publicly funded Kickstarter game and not privately funded game like many other video games. Also, the fact that Star Citizen is built on the foundation of sharing information about it. If I mean, the fact that they have millions of players playtesting their stuff as they build it, giving them real-time feedback that they can then go back and change their features instead of building out a whole game, shipping the game, then getting feedback and trying to adjust around it, or just trying to kind of throw your hands up and be like, well, crap, wish we had done that differently. It's invaluable to them that we also get to see this stuff being made. So I think it'd be a negative on both sides if they decided to keep closing up the conversation between us more. And they're doing it in certain ways. I don't think they're necessarily ways that are damaging the progress. Like shortening the roadmap outlook isn't gonna really damage the game, I don't think. It just damages hype, really. And maybe a little bit of holding them accountable. But overall, they're still gonna have to ship a feature eventually. Like they still have to put it on the roadmap at some point. And we can't really give any feedback on it until it's in game, regardless. Because you only been here a couple of years, you don't have the bitter entitled resentment of the original funders who act like they are in charge. I am in charge. I got my 10-year badge. I don't have my 10-year badge actually, but I'm probably pretty lax as far as somebody who backed in 2014 goes. There are a lot of us still around though. I see you all in chat. I know you're here. See, Mad Style right there. Backed for Squadron 42 back in 2013. Why not do that forever? Sorry, do what forever? You're talking about what was I just talking about? Now you're asking me to dig into my memory, which is just dangerous. Nope, can't remember. Sorry, my brain moves at like 200 quantum jumps per second when I'm streaming. I can't think of anything for very long. In my opinion, which ship is the most useless in concept? Huh. Interesting question. The most useless in concept? Hard to answer. It's like all these concept ships don't have existing gameplay. So like, how do we know what's use and what's not? Oh, playtest in real time. Yeah, I think that's what, I think that's what people are always doing with games. That's how games work nowadays. Basically any major game that comes out is receiving feedback in real time and then making changes to the game based on that. I don't think that will ever end with Star Citizen. I think slowly but surely we'll start to see things change less because things get more solidified. So there would be less reason or less willingness from them to change those things based on our feedback. But there will always be new things coming up that I think they'll want us to be testing. Been around since 2013. Feel relaxed. You backed in 2012. Oh, no, I know you weren't talking about me, Sketch. Problem is finding out who it was specifically, who did the leak. They should fire the person who posted it, which would probably kill their gaming industry career. I see. Okay. They never have to release anything ever because they're testing. But it's only testing if they release it. If they don't release it, then we're not testing it. Cuddy Steel is useless. Oh yeah, that's fair. But again, as a concept, it's hard to answer. Like maybe the Cuddy Steel will end up being super useful with the way that they play out dropship gameplay in the future. Is there a concept ship I'm excited for? The Vulcan. I'm a huge fan of the Vulcan. It's a cool ship. It's like a little refuel ship with drones on it. It's pretty neat. Who's my DJ? YouTube Music. Just downloaded a bunch of music from Stream Beats, from Artlist, threw it together. Love for them to add organization like Stanton that players can help and you see them grow, like in Star Trek Discovery. Curious to see how they will tackle drones. Yeah, that's gonna be iffy. Alrighty. So I started the stream pretty late today. Just because I was trying to prepare for this whole show thing. And ultimately it was a little weird. The YouTube or the Discord stage channel didn't work quite how I wanted it to. And I didn't get to actually get everybody in to talk like I wanted. Unfortunately, it seems like it was kind of weird in letting people in or not. I'm gonna try it again though, probably in the next couple of weeks. We'll do another one of these with all of the active members of the Discord. Like I said, if you want to do these are like regular community focused shows that I want to bring people on who are active from the Discord, and we can talk about top topics an occasional Monday throughout the month and just have a chat about it. But this time it was a little bit strange how it worked. So if you do want to get involved, please join the Discord server, get a little bit active, talk to some people, share some thoughts. It doesn't take too much activity to get into that stage, and I will we'll bring you on. You need more substance. You want to feel like as a player you impact the system. Agreed with you there, Canary. Do you think they will display the BMM in all its glory during IAE? Nah, I don't think they'll bring it out. It'd be cool if they did, but I feel like they would have maybe said something. Maybe not. Maybe they will. I hope so, but I'm not looking forward to it. I don't expect it. West Shoei ignored? No. Ignored how? Not purposefully, at least. I might have missed a message. Saw it on Discord and then went to the stream. The backwards flow, I like it. Hopefully the exterior is post-final art, so maybe they will. I'd be surprised if they did. They don't seem to do that anymore with the exterior-only ships, but it'd be cool if they did. Oh, I see. You're in the greenhouse. You wanted to come in and chat? All right, let's have a quick talk, and then I'm going to wrap things up. Hopefully, you did see a holo of the Banu Merchantman, so perhaps it's not ready. Yeah, it seems like a holo display kind of ship this year. CIG kind of already decided how the cutting tool is going to work with the latches in that sitcon. Why aren't they adding latches to all new ships so that the cutter can work? Best guess, because they don't want to use the same system the latches use for those I assume you're talking about the latches they have in like vents and stuff in these demos. I'm guessing those are going to be a different system from what the doors use. They have some other stuff that they've been showing for door breaching. See if I can pull something up real quick. So they have something like this. Oops. Which I guess is kind of like what you talked about. This is using the cutting tool. Little latches on doors. But this looks more like space station doors. Or maybe even like outpost and city doors. Here's another example of that here. And then finally, the manual door breaching tool, which we see here. Again, this could be something else that they bring out for us to have as a usable when boarding ships. Basically just smack it on the door and it opens it manually for you. And that obviously has to do with them when somebody turns the power off or you lose power to a certain part of the ship, you would have to do things like that to get through the opening. I'm not seeing a request to talk. West Shoei. Should be in the bottom or like the top right or something, I think. Nix is where you met your best friend when you tried jumping cyclones in the back of a freelancer. Nice. That would have been cool, added to the cargo refactor. You're worried about the Corsair deck elevator being used to have a whole bunch of people shooting with railguns. You can kind of do that on some ships already. The Caterpillar, the Nomad, the Carrack, I believe. You can go out there like that, the 890 jump. There are a few. All right, let's hear what Washoe has to say about the latest leaks and CIG's own response to them. How's it going?
Hello, Tomato. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm good.
Didn't mean to press you into this. I was just jostling your jimmies a little bit.
Oh no, it's fine. Come on in. I mean, like I said, it's a test run, so I'm free to do whatever however we feel like doing it.
Okay, so I want to paraphrase this slightly by doing the usual. I'm not talking for the entirety of the community. I do feel I got a little bit of unique perspective on the leaks, however, from my position.
Okay.
So I'm part of the Japanese speaking community of Star Citizen. I primarily operate in the Josicom org, as well as your own Garden in Stellar Initiative. And I can't speak for everybody, but as part of the Asian community, without CIG's localization efforts in Japan, it definitely gives the Japanese community a bit of time to prepare for purchases and sort of like open their wallets and think about what's going on. So although the leaks are not sort of uniquely just for everybody that speaks English, when the leaks come out, there's a lot of chatter in the community. You know, they sort of take the information that's given, they digest it a lot, and they have a chance to sort of like translate a lot of the information. Does
How
that
much
help?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. How much do they, when they get these leaks, do they pull them straight from the source, or are they usually coming to them through content creators who are translating, or how does that work?
Well, the majority of the leaks is from the leaks Discord. They have the sort of, I guess it's a bot or an API of some description, that pulls it into the Discord proper, and then they take some time to translate it, and they sort of inseminate it into their channels, and they start talking about it. So, you know, like, what's the cutter doing? Is it exploration? Is it going to be mining? Those kind of things. And they tend to really enjoy the leaks. The leaks really stirs up the community. I'm sure, I know that you and I are both fans of like the Bellular gaming community on YouTube.
Yeah.
And one of their recent episodes, they talked about like the biggest growth in Steam recently in PC sales has been the Japanese market. I think has exploded maybe 3 times in size. And like I've lived in Japan for 10 years, and when I first came to the country, it was like almost exclusively console. Everything was like Mario and Xbox and things like it. And recently, PC gaming has seen an explosion. So for them, it's actually a really positive thing that, in my opinion only, can't speak for everybody, but in my opinion, it's been a really positive thing that these leaks come out a little bit ahead of time, so they have a chance to like really get their teeth into it, you know?
Yeah, from a community aspect, it's probably pretty good. But also, do you think that, because this might be a different situation from past leaks, do you think that they would have a strong negative reaction if the leak came out and all of the preparation they had done in terms of like their wallet and just setting their expectations? Do you think that they might end up being pretty disappointed if it ended up not being true? Or they just go with the flow? From what you've seen.
That's a really good question. I think at the moment, like talking about economy and stuff and all of that difficult sort of thing, the yen is really bad right now. So a lot of them sort of, they really sort of look at the leaks and try to decide ahead of time if they want to, you know, save up their pennies and buy this ship. I think that their reaction to ship leaks is very different to their reaction to, you know, like story or game leaks, at least. I know that today we're kind of talking about the ship leak question.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of the ship leak question, I definitely think that the ship leaks are a positive. I don't really have an idea about the temperature on the other league side of things. You know, I can't really answer that question.
Okay.
If that helps. Also, you know, maybe this is a bit off topic, but I think that a lot of the Asian market are coming from consoles, and consoles are quite famous for having really good stability.
Yeah.
So at the same time, having these leaks come out, especially talking about, you know, Gen 12 and Vulkan and volumetric clouds and such things, it brings a really sort of good gust of air of positivity into the project from their point of view, especially coming from like a console background where things are usually quite stable. It tends to sort of breed a feeling of positivity from my point of view, at least.
It's there's definitely 2 different sides to the conversation in terms of, I think there's 4 sides, honestly. There's a positive and a negative for the community, and there's a positive and negative for the company. And they're a reality of development, they're a reality of these media companies, so it's not like they're going to go away. It's interesting to hear how different communities receive it differently, though.
Yes, like one of the recent leaks, you call it a leak, it's not really, it's on the PTU, right? It's a public test universe. They were saying that there's now Asian servers. That was a huge windfall for the community.
Yeah.
You know, and it brings a lot of community enthusiasm, brings a lot of people back into the game. So if we sort of take our mind outside of the Anglosphere, so to speak, or the English-speaking part of SC, it's great. I wish I had more to add, but honestly, a lot of other people have said so many things today. I don't really have much more to add than that. But I wanted to at least say my piece.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I oftentimes forget that there are so many other, like, you forget that the center of the gaming community is not strictly with the, I guess you could almost call it first party English speaking community. Like, there are tons of other communities speaking different languages that never get involved with the English speaking side of things, which is where we are. I mean, you're partially in the Japanese side, but me specifically, I don't see these other communities, so it's always interesting to me to hear their perspective, and keep in mind that not only are we seeing things differently, but like even the information that makes it to us is more complete than what makes it to them, and that kind of stuff is it adds cool perspective to the channel, to the project.
For sure. I mean, we know that SC has been commenting on localization a lot in the past couple of months. We had Chris Roberts go to the Bar Citizen in South Korea. I believe it was South Korea. No, was it China? I'm not really clued up.
I think it was Korea. They called into China.
And right, yeah, and they've commented on it, so it's obviously sort of like a direction that CIG are kind of looking in. They're kind of focusing on the Asian market somewhat, and I really do believe that leaks are sort of providing them with a bit of positivity in that direction. So although to a lot of us who are English speakers or native English speakers may sort of see it negatively, it does sort of give a little bit of comfort to those who are in the Asian market that want to see the progress, the stability, the Asian servers have a little bit of time to sort of preemptively digest what ships might be coming next. IAE is frantic. I'm sure you know that. You're a content creator. You're going to get no sleep, right? So you're going to be rushed off your feet. And they just want to. I think they feel like they could do with just a little bit more time to maybe translate, localize sort of a lot of the information that comes their way, and leaks helps with that. Maybe I can't speak for all of them, but I think it helps quite a lot. But that's just my opinion.
Well, it's good to see that CIG is starting to focus on that. But
thank you for letting me in.
Yeah, and thanks for coming on. Appreciate it, and I'll see you around the server.
For sure. Have a good evening.
You too. All right, so that was our last guest for today. Like I said, if you want to get more involved in these kinds of shows, be a little bit active on Discord, you'll get the role eventually. We'll let you come in, say your piece, say what you got to say about it. Griff, I saw you come in, posting on both accounts. Thank you for the double love. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're looking forward to IAE and you've got plenty of time ready for it. And Axis, I see you in here too. Greetings. How's it going today? To wrap things up, folks, I'm going to go ahead and send you on a raid. I picked somebody random this time from the list. Library Science. Don't know them, but I do like that they have science in their name, and they're having Microtech Mondays. So we're going to go ahead and flood them with some good folks, the good Star Citizen community. You guys are amazing. Go light up the streamer's day. Give them a couple follows. Ask them ask them a couple questions. Ask them a couple questions. Share the love, share the info, and I don't know, ask like a newbie question or something. Make them feel like they can teach a little bit. Digesting what's coming for the sale does not work for compulsive buying that these sales tend to do. Yeah, certainly depends on the person. Ask them to get out of here. All right, folks. Appreciate you all. I think somebody just became a member. Lev got gifted a membership by Frenchie. Thank you so much, Frenchie, for gifting out that membership. Lev Plays has been here and been chatting and active. Take advantage of that. Go check out those exclusive videos on the main page. They're a lot of fun. Yeah, ask him a ton of questions. Just overload them with questions. Oh yeah, I always screw up my endings and my beginnings. If I'm not on script, I'm terrible. Absolutely horrible. I say thanks like 10 times. And then I say, all right. And then I like clap and just weird things. So instead of all that, I'm just going to say bye. I'll see y'all next time and have fun on the next stream. Until Wednesday, folks. Oh, wait, sorry. Hold on. One last thing. I'm sorry. We started a new podcast. We didn't start a new podcast. We actually started it 4 months ago, but it is now active. Let me look this up real quick. It is now active, and you can listen to it on the audio platforms. Let me drop a link for you all here. This first one is, let's see. This first one is what is going on with Star Citizen. That is not the right one. All right, I'm going to drop this link. It's good enough. And it's too long. I can't drop it. Instead, I'll just drop this part for you. So you should be able to find it like that. But yeah, our new podcast is usually bring in like 4 different people. We talk about big topics. We've talked about CIG's communication, whether or not these content creators actually think Star Citizen's ever going to come out. We talked about what was going on with Star Citizen back in September. So we have them once a month. If you're into audio podcasts, though, they'll be available on any platform that you are on. Just search it up, Citizen Central, type in Space Tomato just for good measure, and see if you can find it. Other than that, thanks again, folks. Appreciate you being here. Hope you have a good day. Enjoy that other stream. Catch you on Wednesday.